I'm so happy to be back here in Vancouver. I was here, I think, in September or something, and I had such a lovely time. I'm very happy to be back here, especially today. I realize that I'm the first speaker after Bruce has gone, so thank you for that honor. Now, I'm going to talk today about how powerful you are, especially in times of transition. And I can't see my notes and you at the same time. Especially in times of transition, not just here in your center, but in the world at large. I travel extensively. This is my 79th stop in the last couple of years. And in the last couple of years in particular, I've seen a different kind of transition and transformation going on. I think we would all agree in the last few years we've seen a lot of fracturing in our world, in our individual lives, in our communities, and the world at large. And in the spiritual communities where I have visited, it's very evident, this fracturing that's been going on and the difficulties that people are having. Oftentimes, it's not just the congregation that has been reaching out, it's the spiritual leaders and the boards of directors trying to lead people through these times, these very difficult times. The leaders and the boards of directors and the centers themselves are also experiencing the fracturing. So this time of transition has been very difficult. The old ways of gathering, of working together, aren't working, right? And we don't know what the new ways are yet. So we're looking for the new ways, the new things that hold us steady, the new things that move us forward. And this is where your power comes in. Now, my perspectives, as Janet mentioned, my perspectives are not normal. I don't have any kind of doctrinal background. I've never read the Bible. I don't know how to speak from a theological standpoint. I can only share experiences or perspectives based on 18 years of uncontrolled mystical abilities, these divine engagements with divine realms and divine beings. I didn't mean to do this in any way, shape, or form. When I was growing up, I really wanted to be a backup dancer for Michael Jackson. I had a different plan altogether, but the universe said, no, we want you to run around talking about love. So this is what I do now, and I do it happily. Now, my experiences, because I don't have any kind of religious background, my experiences are very pure and they're very fundamental. They almost always relate to the origins of things that we consider pertinent to understanding human experience. So the origins of existence, the origins of fear, the origins of separation consciousness, of Christianity and Buddhism. I go into these origin moments, I embody that origin experience as the information itself, and then I experience our evolution from that vantage point forward. So this afternoon in the workshop, I'm going to use those experiences to bring you into it and take you in on a fantastic journey of remembrance, of a visceral experience of remembrance of our divine nature back into unit of consciousness. But for the purposes of this talk, I don't have time to do that. So I'm going to just reference some of the lessons learned to give you a little context so that you can understand the incredible power that you have to affect change in this time of transition and transformation. We need to understand the context in order to get out of our mental ideas, our mental ways of thinking about what power is. Now, for those of you who've heard me speak before, a lot of this is going to be repetition or repeat. It's perfectly fine. It's all very good information and worth repeating. So, let's understand first and foremost, what are we? Not who are we, what are we truly? Where do we come from? Where does anything come from? In the primordial state of being, in that pure nothingness state, the 0 point, if you will, that nothing before there's any something, that place, that being, is pure awareness. Fundamentally, that's all there is awareness. There is not something that's aware. Awareness is the thing. And this God state, this origin of the God source, has a singular nature. All of this awareness has a singular nature, and that is, it is only cherishing. It is pure, cherishing awareness. God, in my experience, is pure, cherishing awareness. There is not something that's aware and cherishing. Cherishing awareness is the thing. This is what gives us life. It gives everything life experience. This divine love is pure, cherishing awareness. This is our divine nature. This is what's flowing within us. All of this pure, cherishing awareness has an impulse, has a single impulse that drives its existence or its being. We could call that its will or intention, and that is, cherishing awareness seeks to be aware of and cherish all there is to be aware of and cherish. God seeks only to know itself. It seeks to be all that it is. Period. Which means that what is within us, what is giving us life experience, our divine nature, is we seek to be all of the godness that we are. This is that lens of oneness awareness, being aware of God reflecting God. This is what I've experienced. Now, from that divine perspective of awareness, reflecting awareness, perceiving and being aware of itself, we can understand why, from the divine perspective, all of life is entirely equal and free, unconditionally accepted in a pure state of unity and oneness. We can understand why that is when we think about that awareness itself considers life equal because it can't judge. There's no such thing as right or wrong awareness. Good or bad awareness, better or worse awareness, is just aware. Awareness is the thing that is aware of the conceptual, imagined idea that we can judge what we're aware of as better or worse. It's the thing that's aware of the concept of judgment, but it itself is simply aware. It's the same reason why, from the divine perspective, all of life is free to be whatever it is as it is, because awareness itself can't oppress or resist. It's already aware. It's the thing that's aware of the conceptual idea that we can oppress or resist what we're already aware of. Same reason why all of life from the divine perspective is unconditionally accepted as it is, because awareness itself can't reject. It's already aware. It can't reject itself. It's the same thing. It's the thing that's aware of the conceptual idea that we can possibly reject what we're aware of. Same reason why all of life is in a beautiful state of unity and oneness, because it's all cherishing awareness, being aware of and cherishing itself. It cannot separate from itself. You see? So from the divine perspective, our divine nature, that which is flowing within us and giving us life experience, considers all of life beautifully equal and free, unconditionally accepted in a perfect state of unity and oneness. Now, we will notice that our mental world, our conceptual, illusory world that we exist in, is the exact opposite of this, right? Oh, we love inequality. We love to judge. We love to oppress and resist, to reject, and consider ourselves separate from others. And you'll notice that we've lived in a world in chronic pain. Yes? A long, long time. Rejecting any aspect of our divine nature, no matter how we do it, whether we're judging or oppressing, resisting, considering ourselves separate, or flat out rejecting. Rejecting any part of our divine nature is what puts us in separation consciousness. It's easy to understand. We reject ourselves, we're in a separation consciousness. And that separation, that point of separation, causes us pain. And then what do? We reject the pain. So we're in this painful cycle, this loop of constant self-rejection, because we're trying to make awareness reject its own nature. And you'll notice that we can't. We can't ever make that pain go away. It's never gone anywhere because we just keep creating it and then rejecting it, creating it, rejecting it. We're just in this loop. If we are not uniting with or accepting life as it is, then we are keeping ourselves in separation consciousness. And this place severely limits what can be created with us and through us and as us. You can easily understand why that would be. Separation ideology is how we used to create. We used it organizationally and individually and collectively to control, to manipulate, to move and guide forward with our plans, our will, right? That's not how things work now. Not at all. Now we create through unitive consciousness. This is where our world is working towards. It's what it's accelerating towards. We are doing this individually. We create this through the awareness of our own oneness, with and through and as each other. And I'll explain more about that in a minute. The power of the individual is how we are guided. Not that how we are guiding, how we are guided, how we are moved forward. The individual lens of awareness is what heals us. It's what unites us. It's what helps us all rise to our greatest potential. And it happens solely through our individual willingness to be the presence of divine love, to be that divine witness. Awareness, aware of its reflections. It's God, aware of its reflections of God. This is at the core of this time of transition and transformation that's underway. Individuals are causing the expansion of our awareness. And I can help you understand easily how this is going on. I think we would all agree that in the last, even in our lifetimes, but certainly in the last century or two, we've all seen within our world this rising up, these massive movements towards equality, based in gender, based in race, based in religion and geography and caste and education, and all these separate, unequal, oppressive categories of life. All of those boundaries have started to fall away and blur. We've been seeing this magnificent rise, not in just one corner of the world, all around the planet at rocket speed relative to what we've been for eons. Yes? We have also seen in the same time frame these massive movements towards freedom to be who we are as we are. That oppression and resistance starting to fall away. Look at the transgendered and gay and lesbian movements today. Incredible. Again, gender, race, sexuality, all of these various separate, unequal, oppressive categories of life. You've also seen all these massive movements towards the understanding of the importance of accepting what is in this present moment, right? The power of now. Entire industries have been built around this. And lastly, we all know that there have been massive movements towards the understanding of unity, teachings of oneness. These are all the qualities of divine love: equality, freedom, unconditional acceptance, and unity. All of it rising up in our global awareness in our lifetimes, in the last century, century and a half as well. And I'll tell you how it's happening mechanically. It's very easy to understand. When we deny our own true nature, we're in conflict. It's an immediate conflict energy. And so I'm going to use conflict energies as an example to show you how we're shifting our world. May I use you as an example, darling? What is your name? Fiona, what a lovely name. Okay, Fiona and I have a conflict between us. Fiona, it's Fiona's fault. She did something really bad. It's my story. So now we have a conflict energy between us. Metaphysically, what conflict energy looks like, it looks like a knotted thread. It looks like a tangled thread. You can imagine a vibration wave, right? A pattern like this that's got a knot in it. So conflict energy is knotted energetic threads. So we have wound this very tightly around us in our conflict, and we're just pushing and pulling against each other. As we walk around in blame and victimhood and anger and resentment, just pushing and pulling and knotting up even more. And I'm on my end of the world taking little subsidiary energy threads, and I'm wrapping around everybody that I'm talking to, or even thinking about it in their presence, about how awful Fiona has been in this situation. It wasn't my fault. I can't help it. She did this and this and this. Fiona's in her end of the world doing exactly the same thing. Oh, Mary's not so holy after all. We did this. Oh, now we're all wound up in this magnificent tangles of conflict energy because of our core thread. From a planetary perspective, this is what our history looks like. We've all been massively wound up, knotted up in these magnificent tangled conflict energies within and between us. We know this. We can all feel that truth. And as you can imagine, that can't vibrate very high. This is how we've been stuck. We've been stuck in conflict energies. Now, in this situation with Fiona, if I take the time to go in and I honestly own the truth of everything that I feel. Yes, I'm angry. Yes, I'm hurt. Yes, I'm frustrated. Yes, I think it's her fault. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm just allowing all of this. I'm just embracing it. I'm not indulging it. I'm just embracing it. I'm allowing it here within me to be equal, to be free, to be unconditionally accepted in a state of oneness. And as I do that, and I follow that thread of, yes, I am this, I am this, I am this too is true, I will finally come down where I can see the pain that I've been trying to reject in this situation. Whether I perceive that pain as Fiona's or mine doesn't matter. I'm perceiving that understanding within me. And the moment that I accept that pain too into this field as an equal, free, unconditionally accepted part of the unified part of all that I am, we know this point as pure forgiveness. When I get to that moment where the pain too is included, I'm not rejecting it. What happens then to that knotted thread around me is that it just falls away, because now there's no more conflict. All of those knots just open up. The thread falls away, and now it's just this flowing divine love energy. It's all flowing. There's no thread here with me. And now, because it's all just flowing from me, now Fiona has nothing to push and pull against in our core thread. So eventually her thread begins to dissolve and fall away as well. Now it's falling away from all of the people around me, and it's going to fall away from all of the people around Fiona. And now we're all in this beautiful ocean of flowing divine love, all because I did my work, just me. From a planetary perspective, this is what's been happening. As more and more individuals have been going in, doing that work, getting in that state of just allowing life to be as it is. All of this is true. I'm not rejecting any part of it, especially I'm not rejecting my pain or other people's pain. As we've done this, we've opened up these channels that have rippled out into the collective until in our global awareness, there are all these indicators of the rise of the presence of divine love, equal, free, unconditionally accepted in a state of oneness. And as this has been happening, what is going on is that it's created a pull from deep within humanity's history of pulling up all of this ancient pain within humanity that we have been trying so hard to reject. That pain is now coming up to be included in this healing. That pain is seeking finally a different reaction to it than rejection. This is why our world feels so chaotic. It is chaotic. It absolutely is. All of this old pain that we thought we had kind of gotten over, it's here to be included in this healing. This is why all of this seems so chaotic right now. Do you see the power of the individual willingness? You see how powerful you are, one person. The effect that you have in time of transition and transformation. In this time of transformation, what we create next depends entirely on our reaction to what we've already created. To say that in another way, in this time of transition, whatever is in our future depends entirely on our reaction to the present. You see the critical role of reaction. We can't use our old ways of rejecting what we're aware of. We can't use our old ways of rejecting our past or rejecting our present and create a different future. It's not possible. Mechanically, it's not possible. We're in this process now as we are awakening more and more to the fact and the realization that, oh my God, we are awareness. As we are awakening to that, we are learning to react as oneness. I speak often about the philosophy of Ubuntu, which some of you may know about. Many definitions of this African philosophy, but I love the one that says, I am who I am through you. We are who we are through each other. We can clearly understand oneness easily through that philosophy. And we can do it viscerally by asking you right now, where do you think you see me? Me, right here. Where do you think you're experiencing me as oneness? Our mind can't understand this. The separation consciousness believes, because we believe we're separate from other, that you see me up here on a stage, this distance, this height, this sound, etc. But the only place that you're experiencing any of that is within you. You are aware of that which you are in oneness with. You are this lens of oneness awareness, aware of this reflection. You are taking in these reflective patterns of light that are engaging with the patterns in your nervous system and your energy, and it's coming out with this agreed upon outcome of data that says you see a woman on the stage, this distance, this sound, etc. But all of that interpretation happened only within you. Nothing is happening outside of you. All of this life is a oneness experience. You are in oneness with that which you are aware of. If you were to close your eyes right now and I stop talking, you have no internal awareness of me, because there's nothing bringing you into a oneness experience with that awareness. You only have a memory. And where's the memory? Only within you. If you keep your eyes closed and I continue talking, then all that's happening is that you're hearing me. And where is the hearing taking place? Only within you. You can open your eyes. You're always just in oneness with that which you are aware of. That's giving you life experience. If I were to put my cold hands on your arms, the sensations that you would feel are coming from within you. You can't feel my cold hands up here because there's nothing bringing you into a oneness experience of that awareness. You see? If you bite into the carrot, taste of the carrot's happening inside of you. You can't taste the carrot that's in the ground. You're not in oneness with that awareness. Do you see how we are oneness? If I tell you that on the way here we saw an awful car crash, you might have empathy for the car crash victims. But you didn't have any of that empathy until you had an internal awareness of something that required an empathetic response. There's nothing going on except inside of you. Everything. Whether it's in your home, whether it's at the grocery store, whether it's right here in this sanctuary, whether it's on the news, you're only experiencing that within you. Now let that sink in for a moment. And then think about, okay, if that's the case, then when you experience other people's hatred, where are you experiencing their hatred? Only within you. When you experience other people's stupidity, Where are you experiencing their stupidity? When you experience any of their bad behavior that needs to change, or any of their ways of life that needs to be different in order for you to be happy, where are you experiencing their bad behavior and lifestyle choices? So where then is the only place that you are labeling all of these things as bad? Where is the only place that you are judging all of life, any of life? Where is the only place that you are oppressing or resisting, considering yourself separate, considering that they are other? Only within you. This is the only place where the mechanism of creation happens. I'm going to go into this in great detail this afternoon, but you're it. This oneness lens is where the creation mechanism happens. This is the only place that you can react differently than you ever have in order to create something new. This is the only place that you can put everything in a divine field and to have the next thing that you're created be from that vantage point of divine love. Do you see how powerful you are? You see how powerful our understanding of oneness is, and as oneness is. It's all there is. It is the power. It makes it so simple. It just simplifies everything. We don't have to fix the whole world, we have to fix this. And fix isn't even the right answer. We can just allow that too to be true, to be equal. I feel that it's a mess. Yep, that's true. You see how simple it is? Reacting as the divine witness in oneness with life, embracing all that is already here, allows the greatest potential for all of us to rise up. It cannot be otherwise. Whatever rises up will look differently than the past. Necessarily, it will look differently. And that's fantastic. That's part of the beauty of this unfolding. We have no idea what the hell is coming. It's gorgeous because we're always surprised. Because it's so perfect. It's always so perfect. So in this time of local and global transformation, here is the most important question that we can ask ourselves. Am I willing to be the presence of divine love? Am I really willing? Am I willing to react to life differently in alignment with God? To drop all the expectations that were born only in separation from my own true nature? Now, when you ask that question in times where life is a little tough, the truth that you really need to answer is, oh, no, hell no, I'm not going to do it, I'm not given this, nope. And that too is true. That too. Equal, free, unconditionally accepted, unified part of all that I am. And when you do that, when you say no, when you recognize there's a need for love and I just said no, then you follow that truth. You follow the trail of all that truth is tethered to. You will find the pain that you're trying to reject. When you find that pain, you just allow that to be equal, free, unconditionally accepted in the unified part of all that you are. And that's the point of healing. That's the perfect point of healing. Now, I'm going to leave you with a little homework. First, I tell this to everybody everywhere I go, because it's very important in today's times, especially in communities. When you gather together, whether it is here in this sanctuary, in your home, in your business, gather together with a new common intention. Not in the old ways and the old models, but find your new common intention to joyfully explore with and through and as each other what is already happening, what is already here, in order to allow something new to be co-created together. Yes? And lastly, the inquiry of willingness. Sit honestly with that inquiry of willingness, and not just when it's easy. Am I willing to allow that which is in the greatest interest of all to rise up within me, through me, and as me, in my own life, in my home and community, and right here in this center, and in the world at large? Because I'm here to tell you today, humanity is very ready to be aware of your yes. I'm going to leave you with a perfectly timed Facebook post that somebody shared with me about 10 minutes before we came here this morning. This is from the book called Oneness by Rasha. Perfect, of course. This is why you have come. This is why you've ventured from the comforts of your divine home into this wild landscape that this incarnation has provided. This is why you find yourself in a world that no longer seems to make sense, and why you look around and wonder if the world has simply gone mad. For the seeming senselessness of all of the drama that swirls around you is the precursor to the healing that these circumstances are crying out for, and why the inevitability of change is the order of the day. You have come here as the witness and as the participant. You have come to co-create the world of wonder that looms on the horizon. Each of you will embrace it in your own way. Each will weather the storms, both internal and external, that this birthing into full awareness requires. You have not come to read about it in books. You have come to help etch new understandings indelibly upon the compendium of your consciousness. And these volumes of memory and recognition will travel with you long after all the pages of the books have withered. And with that, I thank you very much for this time. May our time together be of benefit to all beings.
Is that called going into the mystic?
I guess so.
Maybe, might. How many years were you in India traveling?
I've been living in India for most of the last 7.5 years, in the Himalayas.
In the Himalayas.
Can I just make a comment also about my book? My book is also now being made into a feature film. It's in the process, so that's another fun adventure. Yeah, thank you.
So blessed. So blessed. Thank you so much, Mary.